So this should feel like deja vu, folks. We're going to get back to some more Rob Zombie, and this is his second album, or at least his second solo album, The Sinister Urge. Now, with this project, the thing about it is usually the second album is the most commercial thing that certain artists will drop, because the first album is usually a surprise that it's a hit, so things beef up the second time around. Now, as this happens, you have to remember that, things are going to be better in bulk and that sort of thing. But the main thing is that Rob Zombie, this album, is actually less successful commercially than Hellbilly Deluxe, but it's probably the one that has more lastability and stood the test of time more than Hellbilly. Because the thing about Hellbilly is they had the 3 songs that you probably knew from it: Living Dead Girl, Dragula, Super Beast. But beyond that, I mean, it's still, I think I gave the album a really high score, but trying to get the rest of the songs some air, or some time, some spins is, it's just a question of doing it. Now, obviously, it's not about being fearful of doing this. It's just a matter of how willing this is going to be. So obviously, this album does not have that problem as much, because it did have 5 singles released from it, or at least 5 promo singles released. So there were 5 songs in rotation, in other words, on the radio, and also a couple of these were on soundtracks. So that additionally adds some good stuff here. Now, beyond that, this album is just a monster. I mean, that's really the best part about it, is you get the sense of what's going on. And actually, the reality of it is, the album went platinum, and also there was only one true radio song released, and that was Demon Speeding. So, not necessarily awful, but I do enjoy the fact that this is one of those albums that just was all over the place. So this is good. This is definitely good. It's an album that, it's kind of one of those rock albums that I think a lot of folks have probably heard over the course of their lives. And so that stands. Hellbilly Deluxe might be, but that one shows its age a little bit more, it seems. But this one, I think it's probably stuck in people's minds. And, obviously he was also working on the House of a Thousand Corpses movie and soundtrack, which I reviewed the soundtrack, so look for that. And there's just a bunch of good Rob Zombie goodness here. So I'm actually getting to the point where I reviewed quite a bit of his stuff, and that will likely continue. But, I'm just going to say I am very much swooning over this project. It's not something I'm afraid to do. This is something that deserves the spins that it got, and it was a fun listen on top of that. So I see myself, I'm looking forward to hearing a couple songs from this project and being able to recognize some of them on the radio. So that's kind of something I want to start doing, is just being able to know, okay, I'm hearing this. But, as it stands, this is an album that is worthwhile. So, Rob Zombie, thing about this is it kind of lost some of the techno feel from the first album, which I kind of felt like maybe Living Dead Girl. It's not as gnarly this time, but it sounds more metal, and that, some folks might have missed that, but I'm not sure if his next album has it. But regardless, it's still, it's metal that it's pretty shrill. So, alright. Trying to think of what to say about this. So, for example, Scum of the Earth is probably one of those songs that I think a lot of folks have heard at some point. Demon Speeding, Feel So Numb. These are a few of the ones. And I It may lack distinction, but some of these songs may lack distinction as far as like a signature song. I mean, he's kind of missing like that second signature song, but it passes as a good song. So that's the one thing. If Demon Speeding, if you're new to this and that doesn't stand out to you as much as Living Dead Girl or Dragula or something, just know that it probably will in time. So, you know, you look up information and they say, well, Hellbilly Deluxe was probably his best project, but that's I'd say absolutely not. He kind of did everything times 2 on this project. So, of which the songs that you need to hear, I'm gonna say Demon Speeding, Dead Girl Superstar, Feel So Numb, Scum of the Earth, Iron Head with Ozzy Osbourne, Bring Her Down to Cripple Town, and Never Going to Stop. That's 7 out of 9, and really it would be 8 out of 9 if there's a song on here called The House of a Thousand Corpses. Now obviously you can get the song, but understand that it's over 9 minutes long. So the better thing to do would be to seek out the Hellbill or the House of a Thousand Corpses soundtrack and get an additional 5 songs by Rob Zombie. That would be the thing to do. You get it in the 4-minute version plus some new tracks, so you have everything as opposed to just having to listen to that song for 10 minutes. So that's the thing. But it is on here. It's conveniently placed on here, actually, even though this actually came out first. But that's just something. So I'm not going to give that one a song that you need to hear, but I already did on the Thousand Corpses soundtrack. So most of these songs head straight to them, should not really be that much of a deal. I mean, if you translated well to Hellbilly Deluxe, this should be right at home for that sort of thing. And this is good because the right at home moments, you know, are fun. So I'm going to give this album a 10. And main thing about it, the social score is going to get a 10 because of the promotion that this record received, and which means how well it plays around your friends if you're around them when you listen to this music. Can this record be topped? I think the answer is not really. This is, you know, both this. A good thing to do would be go buy Hellbilly Deluxe and this album at the same time. Definitely recommend doing that. You'll probably blow out your hard drive doing that. Trust me. So, the only other thing is I think that's actually it. The future Rob Zombie dropped an album this year. So, that's the last thing to know. Alright, subscribe for more fun.